Hello, everybody. I am Cheryl Casoni. It is noon Eastern time right here. It is New York City, and we are getting ready for a big hour of Fox Business. Kathy Boyle, president of Chapin Hill Advisors, is with me, and FoxBusiness.com's Dunstan Pryle. A lot of big news coming out in this hour. We want to begin, though. We're looking for these Ford numbers. Robert Gray is standing by right now in the newsroom. I'm not seeing them cross, Robert. If you've got them, please
Indeed.
let me know, sir.
Yes, Cheryl, we do. Ford coming in, they're saying their retail sales were up 21% versus a year ago, pretty much in line with expectations. When you throw in the fleet sales, it was just a 17% increase versus a year ago, but we're seeing that 21% is their headline number there, increasing following the July increase there. We had anticipated Ford actually doing well. In fact, Edmunds.com was looking for them to be up also substantially year over year, but not quite 21%. They had record sales for the Ford Focus, Fusion, Escape, the Edge, and Flex during that time period, of course, so we knew that the Focus and the Escape had been some of their better ones. In fact, they were bringing more factories back online to step up production of those. Of course, very popular in that Cash for Clunkers program, which was really in earnest in August. It got underway in July, of course, but we did see that 21% gain led by their smaller models there, the more fuel-efficient cars there at Ford. So now gaining retail market share, they say, in 10 of the last 11 months. Plus, they are continuing, as they say, an internal and external study showing what they call a positive trend in consumer opinion about Ford. But again, we're just seeing it paced by this Ford Focus sales, the August record of 56% versus a year ago. Just for instance, that Focus, again, one of the most fuel efficient of their cars. They say a 35 mile per gallon EPA estimated mileage on the highway. Cheryl?
All right, Robert Gray for the newsroom. Thanks for getting in those Ford numbers. Once again, Ford coming in with a very strong month of August compared to last year. Obviously, that is Cash for Clunkers. You, the taxpayer, spending about $2.88 billion on the Cash for Clunkers programs. Most of those sales hitting in the month of August. We expected this to come in for Ford. We got what we expected. Let's go out to Jeff Flock. He's actually at a Fox Valley Ford dealership that's covering. We just got the numbers. They're telling us Focus, Fusion, Escape. Jeff, were the big models that sold, are you seeing a lot of those cars still on the lot, or are they gone?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Inventory. Got Tom Collins with me, who owns and runs this, and let's walk over to the Focus there, because that's a big winner. And of course, you thought maybe that would be a big winner, in that the Escape also you knew was big for Cash for Clunkers. This is one of the Focus. How many Focuses do you have on the lot right now?
I currently just have 3, and it's been a struggle to keep that many on the lot. They've been selling so well.
You just have 3?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Well, I mean, that cuts both ways, doesn't it?
Yes, it does cut both ways. The good thing is we're turning this inventory about every 6 or 7 days, so it's a struggle to keep a lot of selection on the ground, but it's a great problem to have selling them so quick.
Now, you may be, I mean, the bottom line is they may be, Cheryl, the only guys that have a sales increase year over year, not month over month, but year over year. I want to throw up the numbers from Edmunds, the forecast for the rest of the automakers. We hear Ford 20 plus perhaps, but if you look year over year, GM is expected to be in August down 28%. Chrysler expected to be down 22%. Toyota down a percentage point. So that gives you some indication about how huge this is, Tom, to have a 20% sales increase when all of your competitors, say for Hyundai, I think, are probably going to have negatives.
Well, I think that's an amazing set of statistics there, but it's really a testament to all the hard work that the people at Ford have put in over the last 3 years. They've restructured, they've put their turnaround plan into effect, and it shows that all the products we're building are not only things that people want, but are of the highest quality, highest fuel efficiency.
I got one last one I want to get to you, because we're going to talk to our analyst about this, but sales hangover in September, are you not scared to death about what happens in September and October?
Scared to death is a strong word. I think we'll see a little downtick. However, as the months go on and for the fourth quarter of this year, I think you'll see that sales are better than they were during the fourth quarter of last year.
Okay, it's all relative, Cheryl. There you go.
Jeff, I want you to stay there because I want to talk about what September and October are going to be, and I want to get an analyst's opinion on this. Peter DiLorenzo from AutoExtremist.com joins us now. And Peter, that is the big question. We knew August was going to be extremely strong and positive for these automakers, and in particular for Ford, 17%. We just got the number. But September, October could be pretty negative for these guys.
I think we're headed for a 60-day down period. There's no doubt about it. I think Ford definitely has shown some signs of serious momentum in this market, so they might not be as down as the others, but I think we're really heading for a slam for September and October.
Well, you know what, Peter? We've been told that a lot of the dealerships and a lot of the analysts that cover the dealerships, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, when they release their notes like you do, they say, look, a lot of the buyers that would have waited until September and October jumped in August to take advantage of the program. Therefore, the year-over-year comparisons for the automakers are going to be that much more difficult to deal with. Remember, last fall, we were already in a financial crisis in this country.
Yeah, I agree. There was some pull ahead. There's no doubt about it. I don't think we'll be able to see what's really happening in this market until around November, mid-November, December, to see if there's real consumer buying going on at that point. I think we're going to have to wait till then to really see how this shakes out.
Peter, was cash for clunkers worth it? If so, why? If not, why not?
I think it was worth it to sort of jumpstart the economy. A lot of local people supply these dealers and help these dealers make this happen, benefited from it. But long term, I'm concerned about it because American consumers need to start equating American-built products, for instance, for something other than the deal. And cash for clunkers was just yet another deal. So we have American consumers, again, sitting on the sidelines, you know, wondering what the next deal's going to be.
I'd love to get the perspective from the dealer.
Well, that's actually, I want to do that as well, Dunstan. You're dead on. Let's go back over to Jeff Flock, because Jeff, you know, here we are talking about Ford numbers.
That's
those numbers just coming out a few minutes ago. But if you look at July for Ford, year-over-year sales only up 2.4%. So August, of course, looked great, but this program ended on the 24th. How did that dealership there do between the 25th and the 31st?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good question. I'm going to ask Tom right now. How much of a fall off did you see after clunkers were done? But you told me you stopped clunkers long before the program ended, right?
We did stop the clunkers a few days before the program ended. That was a choice that our dealership had made because we had such an overwhelming response to it, and we needed to save some inventory to sell for the next 60, 90 days.
But between then and now, how'd you do?
We've kind of fallen back to the pre-clunker levels, so we haven't seen a drop off to zero. We're back to where we were at in June, May, and like I say, fourth quarter is going to be better than it was last year.
And Peter is saying there was a lot of pull-through. What, and you call it pull-through. That means you guys that bought today that wouldn't have bought today, but you would maybe buy next month or the month after. What percentage of that do you think there was? And what percentage of it was people that had an old car that maybe they wouldn't have bought a new car anyway?
In my estimate, I would say the pull-ahead business is probably only about 30 to 35% of all the clunker deals. A lot of these folks that came in to buy cars are folks that would have waited for the economy to come back and were in a holding pattern.
And maybe they would have bought a used car at that point.
Absolutely.
Interesting. I don't know if Peter agrees with that number, but they think about 30%, Cheryl.
Let me get Peter's reaction to that, Jeff. I mean, Peter, what do you make of what he's saying there?
Well, I think he makes a valid point. I mean, there was some pull ahead, but a lot of people who took advantage of this deal were people who weren't going to buy anytime soon. They were sitting on the sidelines. But there was pull ahead. We'll know how this really shakes out in November, December timeframe.
All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. We're going to cover
true.
We're going to get back to these markets. Peter DiLorenzo and Jeff Flock, gentlemen, thank you as well. Of course, thanks to Robert Glenn, those numbers at the top of the